Alright, this is going to be my review of John Carpenter's The Thing. And all in all, this is one of those movies where I've wanted to see it, but I never got around to watching it until now. And this is a very good movie, and it's actually quite scary as well. I was surprised by how scared I was during this movie. And it's not so much the terrifying images, it's more of like the suspense building up throughout the movie because you don't know who or what the thing is or what it's going to be next. And when you find out what it is, it just makes you jump. It just scares you because, you weren't sure if it was going to happen or not. And when it does, when you finally find out what the thing is, it just makes you jump. Um, and the movie isn't really about the monster itself. I mean, obviously it is about the thing, the monster, whatever the fuck it's called, but it's also about the paranoia that happens when, we don't know what the thing is. None of the campers know what the thing is, and they have to figure out who or what the thing is next so that they can try and kill it, try and stop it before it, spreads somewhere else. It already killed the Norwegians, which, by the way, is one of the funnier plot things I read beforehand, which I thought was going to spoil the movie. Apparently, in the beginning, the Norwegians tell the Americans, that's not a dog, that's a thing, it will fucking kill you. But, Americans don't, nobody understood Norwegian, so, for all they know, they were saying, we're fucking crazy or some shit. You know, that's the amazing thing, and that's something I never would have realized until you know, unless I had read it, I never would have realized that they were actually spoiling the movie. So if you're Norwegian, sorry they spoiled the movie, or at least the first part of it. Uh, the special effects I thought were really well done, and normally special effects that were done in the 1980s aren't really, today they're not as good as they are. But I would say in the last couple of days, I've seen a couple of movies made in the 80s that have great special effects. This movie and The Terminator. And that there might be a couple of special effects that look a little silly nowadays, but for the most part, it still looks really good. And that was really surprising to me. In particular, like all the rubber, not really rubber, but all like the deformed heads and all that shit, the insides of people, like all the guts, the intestines, the vital organs, it's still really, accurate, I guess, for lack of a better word. It looked really realistic. And to add on, the acting isn't really important in this movie. It's more of acting, obviously the acting's a little important, but it's not really the main focus. The only actor I really focused on in this movie was the coroner, the doctor, Wilfred Brimley, mainly because I grew up watching so much Price is Right that whenever I see him, I only think of him as the diabetes guy. And so it's really hard to take him seriously. I mean, I figured in the end, he got pissed off because the two guys he absorbed, one of them must have had diabetes, and that's what set off this whole chain. Um, but all in all, I would definitely give this like about an 8 out of 10 or so. It is a very, scary movie. It's a good watch. Unless if you're kind of squeamish, you might not want to because it's still kind of disgusting. It's still kind of disgusting today, but aside from that, it is still a good movie to watch.